Hello there, Eagles fans, and welcome back to our Eagles Therapy Podcast. My name is Basil.
And I'm Baz.
We are recording Saturday, November 18th, 2023. A few days removed from what was the Thursday night game?
Cincinnati and Baltimore.
Ravens and Bengals. Yeah, kind of a forgettable game. Unfortunately, a lot of injuries. But more importantly, we're one day removed from my dad returning from Chicago. A nice long 2-week trip to Chicago. How was it, Dad? What happened?
It was nice. It was fun. I went downtown on last Saturday, so a week ago today, and I had some Eagles gear on, my hat, of course, and my shirt. And I got 5 Go Birds.
That's nice.
It's so funny because the guy I was working with, or the guy I was with, was from Cheyenne, Wyoming. And, after the second or third person came up to me, he kind of gave me this look like, what is going on here? Like, I don't understand. What's the thing? What is this Go Birds? Yeah. And it was funny. And I just told him, Eagles fans, and there was a few people walk by pointing to their hat, going "Go Birds," and it was really cool. We even went to the top of a building there that you can go look out over the city, like 94 floors up. And so I got to the thing, buy my ticket. It was like $30 something. And this guy's taking care of me, and this girl comes walking over, and she sees me, and she goes, "Hey, Go Birds!" And it was like the 5th time that someone's done it, and then so it was funny. We got fans everywhere, so we had a good time there.
That's funny. I got to Go Birds leaving Walmart yesterday. Last night with my jacket.
Awesome.
But, good. I'm happy you're back. It's good to be back. It's been a long time since we recorded together. Of course, I had to record this by myself last week after the Dallas game. I didn't want to do that, and we recorded quite a while before that. So it's been a long time, so we're really excited to get into this and have an episode back together. While my dad was gone, I found out that in Kansas, Sharon Springs, Kansas, there's a store that sells Yangling. So we've got some bottles of Yangling here. We bought about 5 cases. I went with my mom last week, I think last Saturday when you were up there.
That's right. That's right.
We went down there and got some cases of Yangling, so that was cool. This isn't a sponsor, so we can't use this as a sponsor, but I wish we could, and maybe one day we will, but
never know.
Today we'll be talking, of course, about the Eagles-Chiefs game coming up on Monday. We'll do a little bit of the bye week thoughts. We don't want to stay on it too long since we did already pass the bye week, but we want to talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
Talk about some roster changes, injury report, and then some other sporting news, of course. But go ahead and before we do that, jump into it as always. We want to say, give our little plug to the fan club. We are part of the Philadelphia Eagles fan club of Colorado Springs. That is the page on Facebook. You can go join it if you're an Eagles fan. It'll ask you a couple questions to let you join. We watch every single game at Frankie's on Powers and Galley here in Colorado Springs. We'd love for you to come on down. We'll say hi to you, say hi to us, and hopefully you recognize us from the podcast if you're watching, and you can tell us what you think and tell us that you're happy you found us, and we'll be happy that we found you.
That's right.
But other than that, let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll talk about the bye week first since we already passed that. Kind of the worst bye week in Eagles history, right, Dad?
Yeah, it was. Normally during the bye week, it's either you're going shopping with the wife or you're Christmas shopping or something, depending on what time of year the game falls or the bye falls. But this year was tough. We didn't have a very successful bye week.
Absolutely. Yeah, you always count on a little bit of help during the bye week, maybe to help get your division. Keep your division space, keep your conference space. Make another team look bad, even if they win. You want to count on something, and nothing good happened for us on the bye week aside from getting healthy from injuries. Of course we had that. But the Seahawks won. They beat they beat Washington.
Right.
The Cowboys, of course, beat the Giants, the Niners. They defeated the Jaguars, and the Lions won against the Chargers. And, it's just bad. We needed – it would have been nice for at least one or two of those teams to lose.
Yeah, the Detroit game was really exciting, but you could tell that they were probably going to win that game.
Yeah.
Both teams went up and down the field, so it can't tell you much about Detroit's defense because really the Chargers are good, but they're not that good.
Yeah.
But they ended up winning with the last-second field goal. A lot of last-second field goal games.
For sure. Yeah.
Some of the other games were tough. It's hard, when you're watching those games to not cheer against various teams.
Yeah.
But I was kind of pulling for the Commanders against Seattle, and they looked good there for a little bit, but
Seattle had a close game. Yeah. Obviously we can't even talk about the Cowboys Giants. We didn't expect anything. We didn't.
No.
We knew what was going to happen there. With the Jaguars, we would have liked a little bit more. Seahawks, the Niners, we would have liked to see. Or not the Niners. I'm sorry, we said that. The Washington, the Commanders, we would have liked to see them, beat the Seahawks a little bit at least. But the Lions, that's the biggest one right now because I'm looking at the Lions' schedule, and it's probably been talked about a little bit. But dude, this is this is the biggest threat to the number 1 seed now.
Yeah, they've got a real easy path.
We've got one of the hardest paths the next few weeks. We got the Chiefs, of course, the Bills. I've got it right here. I forgot. The Bills, the Niners, Cowboys, Seahawks, and then we've got a nice little padded last 3 weeks. But, Giants, Cardinals, Giants. Who knows, though? The Cardinals could be good at that point. Kyler Murray's back. He played better.
Yeah.
But in the end, yes. But in the end, this Lions, they've got the Bears twice, they've got the Packers, they've got the Vikings twice, they've got the Saints, and they got the Cowboys. I mean, I'm not going to say it because they're not going to go undefeated. They could go 8-0 in this last stretch.
Sure.
It's absolutely possible. It's not going to happen, but it's absolutely possible. They got the Broncos even. I mean, they're going to beat the Bears twice. They're going to beat the Packers again. They're going to beat the Broncos. They're probably going to split with the Vikings, divisional games. You split. They're going to beat the Saints probably, and then they could beat the Cowboys. Like
you never know.
They could end up going 14-3. This is this is scary.
Again, like you said, the bye week. We were glad we got healthy. Hopefully, we come out this game this week and everyone, we have a full complement of players.
Yeah.
But you also, like you said, want somebody to lose. But that, if I could, the 49ers Jags game, we were kind of looking forward to that game. Not even just maybe this player doesn't look good, or they just destroyed them, and the Jags looked awful. I don't really know if I really have any faith in them the rest of the year because just the way they looked. They did everything that you could do wrong. It was just – and, like I said, when you're watching those games, you're kind of in a relaxed state, I guess you'd say.
For sure, yeah.
You're not pent up. You're not worried or whatever about – it was kind of – you kind of wanted that nice, easy 1 or 2 games that we could enjoy, but – every one of them that we wanted to have the decision went against us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so just a rough bye week for us, but happy to be coming back healthy, better than ever. So we'll see how it goes going forward. Hopefully we keep it clinched, but man, that Lions team is the biggest one to look to be worried about going forward. I think more than the Cowboys and the Niners, really. But let's go ahead and just jump into that Eagles-Chiefs game. We're going to be playing Monday night, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:15 p.m. here in Colorado Springs time. We'll, of course, be down there at Frankie's. But, Dad, what's the weather watch looking like in Kansas City?
Well, it's not going to be a very good night. It's going to be, we're talking like 42 degrees and rain, probably 100% rain. Then as the night transitions, the afternoon into the evening, it's going to drop to the high 30s, probably 39 degrees, about a 10 to 15 mile an hour breeze, and about a 70% chance of rain. So it's looking like it's going to be a wet, soggy, cold night. So hopefully we can get into what we expect to happen to the game. But hopefully we can get that ball on the ground and run a little bit.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I hate hearing about bad weather games. I just hate bad weather games. I know the elements are a big part of football, but gosh, it just sucks.
Yeah, but early on we were cheering for the weather. We had bad weather and we won. Then we finally had a good weather game and it didn't go as well as we wanted. So you know what? Let's just take it. We'll take the weather. We'll take the rain. Hopefully the ball's dropping out of the other team's hands onto the field and we can pick it up.
That's right. I mean, that's the drop team, so hopefully it stays that way.
Let's hope.
Looking at the all-time series record, the Chiefs lead 6-4. The Chiefs are 1-0 in the playoffs, of course, being that last year's loss that we don't want to talk about. Over the last 25 years, the Chiefs are 5-3. So, it's not really not a played much rival. We haven't, or not rival, but team. We haven't played them many times. Haven't seen them very often. Biggest thing for us, really, as a fandom, is going to be that we lose to we lose to Andy.
Right.
We're 0-4 again. Yeah, we're 0-4 against Andy, and that's just not fun. Not a fun thing for us to go through.
We were talking about the Andy Reid in this series. In the Kansas City Eagles series, Andy Reid is undefeated.
Yeah. Not funny?
Yeah.
He won 3 games against Kansas City with the Eagles, and now he's won 4 games with Kansas City against the Eagles. So it's kind of funny. He's 7-0 in the Eagles Chiefs.
So is it due?
Yeah, that's the thing. Hey, he's due for a loss.
Hey.
Maybe he can go 4-4.
We'll take it.
But yeah, it's just a bummer to see us always lose to this team. And I really think, I have to say it now before going into all this other stuff with the matchups and everything. For me, this is. It gets kind of tiring because we've said it 12 times this year. This is the most important game of the year. We felt that way with the Rams when we played them. We felt that way with the Cowboys when we played them. And now it's this one. This is the most important game of the year. And I know we talked about it in the seasonal overlook. it's really not that important of a game. It's not a divisional rival. It's not a divisional game. It's not a conference game.
Right.
They're on the other side. It's not going to affect seeding as much as as down the line, because none of our people in our division play them. It's just not a team that it's not really going to mess with the seeding or the placement.
Yes.
But the biggest thing for me is beating Andy Reid and beating Patrick Mahomes is a hump that this team has to get over. We cannot keep on doing this, because if we lose on Monday, we're, chalk it up, we're second place again this year. You know what I mean?
And as far as head-to-head goes, Detroit did play Kansas City.
True.
So if it came to a tiebreaker, that's one of the first tiebreakers that you get
they would look at
for
yeah.
division for seeding.
Yeah. It's something that we need to do. We have to be able to beat Andy Reid. We have to be able to beat the Chiefs. We have to be able to beat Mahomes, because if we can't beat them when we were playing at our best, like in the Super Bowl, or like back in 21, we even played a really good game against them, or back in 17 when we won the Super Bowl, we lost to them. Yes. If we can't beat Reid, Andy, I mean, what's this mean about the team for the next 3-4 years when we're playing them again in the Super Bowl next year or in 2 years? Like this, we have to be able to get over this. Right. For the success of our franchise for the next 4 or 5 years. I really believe that.
So now, we discussed this earlier, and I feel a little differently on this subject. I understand what you're saying, and you make a very good point about, the confidence level of our team for this year going into the playoffs, and then if we get to the Super Bowl and a whole rematch thing. I don't think it's as important as you're cutting it out to be, but again, you're entitled to your point of view. I believe, it would be nice to win this game. It's not essential. I feel that if we win this game, we're still not going to get that number one ranking by the powers that be, only because they don't like us for whatever reason, and they'll point to something that happened in the game. So if we win the game, we're still third or fourth ranked. And if we lose the game, there we go. Told you they were going to lose. The Eagles don't have this or they don't have that. So I think it's a bad setup for this week. We really, like I was saying to you earlier, we can't win. We win the game, we're not going to win. We lose the game, we're not going to win. Yeah. But it's definitely going to be a confidence booster for a young Jalen Hurts and a young Eagles offensive linemen. Not all of them are young, but and I really do feel that if we can, the only way for us to win overall is to win convincingly.
We have to win big.
Convincingly,
we have to win
and
big.
Do one of those things we haven't done in about 2 months, and that's
put the game away.
Put the game away with one of those 8-minute drives and just demoralize them. And then, of course, that would set us up beautifully for if we do rematch in the Super Bowl. But Kansas City's not the team they were last year. We know that. Everyone knows that.
That's why we have to beat them. I just think going forward, this matchup, this is a matchup we're going to be. This could be the next rivalry.
It'll be pointed to.
It'll be pointed to. Yeah. And if we lose this game, we're going to be number 2 in the power rankings for the next 3-4 years. We're going to drop it. But if we win this game, we're going to be the number 1 team for a bit. And I really believe that. And I think
I do well, obviously.
The confidence boost is
we can win this game as far as the scheduling goes, and this is our rough patch, and they play the Cowboys, then they play the Chiefs, then they got the Bills. Yeah. So if we win this game, I know I was saying it to you earlier, and I probably want to pull back a little bit, but I really feel we win this game, we can start resting players now. And I know that's not true, but it would set up the rest of the season for, now we just got to pick and choose what game we're going to win out of the next 4.
The pressure on your shoulders is different.
For sure.
Because if you beat this team and we go 9-1 and we beat the best team in the other conference, barring, I know the Ravens are up there too, but we beat the best team in the other conference, then we play the Bills next week. The Bills are not at all what we expected them to be before the season. 5-4, I think we were talking about earlier. 5-4, what are they? Yeah, 5-5. Okay, sorry. 5-5. We go against them. Say they win this week. They got the Jets. They probably will. 6-5. Say that's
But they lost an ugly game last week.
People had favorites for them to be the Super Bowl winners.
For sure.
At least to be in the Super Bowl.
And Super Bowl. MVP for Allen again. Every year they bring him up. Yeah. And you and I look at it. We're like, he's got 7 or 9 or 10 or 12 interceptions
in the first 3 games.
inside the 5-yard line. So
Yeah, no, I think if you win this game and then you got the Bills next week, that's a team that's really not that good. They're not impressive. They've had a huge problem turning the ball over, almost more than we have. I mean, that's a game you can get the defense back on track. But I don't want to talk about the game. We'll talk about that game next week. But I just think these next two games, if we beat the Chiefs, it starts to feel a little better.
Oh, yeah.
Because then we have Dallas and Seattle. Those are big games, and Niners. But then you start to, we're up a little bit, and maybe Dallas loses this week. They play the Panthers, so they're not going to. But, that's the thing. We have to win this game because look at everyone else's schedule. I mean, Dallas plays the Panther. Yeah. The Lions play the Bears. The Niners play the Rams. They play the Buccaneers, but they're not even very good either. The Seahawks play the Rams.
It's kind of like last year. Remember last year we were what, 10-0, 11-0, and we still never had a cushion. Yeah. We kept going, okay, now this is the week we're going to get our cushion.
Never happened. But we had to play our starters in the last week of the season last year and win.
But you really don't want that cushion. No. I mean, I've been following for many, many years, and sometimes you go, okay, if the last week of the season we don't rest our game, but several teams have lost that game because they rested their players. So you got in this league, you just have to go week to week, and you can't, look ahead. And that's the biggest thing that it seems like we have that on our side, where our coach, our quarterback, obviously, he is a hard worker. They don't look ahead. They don't say, oh, wow, we got an easy game next week. Yeah. Now, we haven't played that well in that situation, too. There's teams that we should have put away pretty handily and didn't. But you get the win every week, and that's what it's all about, Yeah.
All right, moving on over to I don't have a favorite Chiefs moment because in my time of fandom, we haven't beat them since 2009. Right. So in my kind of fandom, I don't really have a favorite moment because it's been too long. So what do you have as your favorite?
The one I did pick was from 2000. It was
2009.
September 27th, 2009. Yeah. I mean, I looked at some of the other games. They weren't as, let's just say, detailed, where I can go into a little bit of the Eagles' history. So that's why I picked this one. In 2009, we beat the Chiefs at home at the Link, 34-14. Now, we had McNabb started the game, and of course that's kind of late in his career with us, as we all know. He didn't last much longer. Anyway, he started the game, but he got hit early, and he cracked a few ribs. So in came our second-round pick, Kevin Cobb. Okay. And, he ended up winning the game. He went 24 for 34 for 327 yards. He had a real good weapon in that team with Deshaun Jackson. So he had 6 catches for 149 yards. And he also had LaShawn McCoy. So it wasn't like we didn't have weapons.
Rookie LaShawn McCoy, too.
I wasn't sure about that. I should have looked into it. And LaShawn, I was looking to see if he was only maybe a second-year player. Okay.
We started the game. LaShawn started the game because Westbrook was hurt. But sorry.
Okay, there you go. So anyway, so I looked a little bit. McNabb did come back later in the season, only a few games later, because most of you know that we did trade Kevin Cobb to the Cardinals the next season. Yeah. And what happened was he started the 2010 season. Sorry, we traded him in 2011. The next season, we traded McNabb. So at the end of 2009, we traded McNabb. Kevin Cobb was our starter, but in week 1, he got a concussion against the Green Bay Packers. And Mike Vick came in and played phenomenally for that year and another year or two. Kevin Cobb ended up being traded to the Cardinals, and we got like a second-round pick for him, which was one of those great deals, a guy that you're not going to even use now. And he didn't last at all in the Cardinals. He started getting concussions, and I believe he retired a few years into that contract and never really made it. But the biggest thing about this particular game with Kevin Cobb, he started this game and then the next game, and I'm not sure who we played the next game, but he became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 300 yards in his first 2 career starts. So that would have been the next game and the game after that. So, and in that game, he also did one of our favorite plays now, the Philly push. He did a quarterback sneak for his first career touchdown.
Oh, wow.
As well. So, there was just some things about the game that I just wanted to bring up. But, so we ended up that season, 2009, at 11-6. So it wasn't like we were a terrible team. Yeah. We did sweep the Giants, and the Washington team at the time is named the Redskins, now the Commanders. So we swept them both, but we had 3 losses to that team down in Texas that we do not like.
Yeah, that's the last time.
That was pretty bad. We did make it to the wild card round that year, and we didn't go any farther along. But
that was the last time before last year when we did it to the Giants. That was the last time a team got beat 3 times the same season by another team. us in 2009 to them, and then we did it last year.
Well, it's funny because that would never have happened until the late 2000s. Before that, it just never worked where you would play a division rival like that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was just the way how many teams made it and the way they structured it. I mean, it would be almost impossible for you to play a division team 3 times. Yeah.
What Eagle are you most looking forward to this weekend?
So this weekend,
Monday,
I said Cam Jurgens because he's back off the IR. And, of course, we were listening to our guys, Dave and Rube, who we love. And they were talking about how they thought Jurgens was going to be back for the Cowboys game, as I did.
Yeah.
And I was hoping it because he seems to be that missing piece for our running game, which ever since he went out 5 weeks ago, our running game kind of took a deep dive, yes. And Andre wasn't getting the rushing yards. DeAndre wasn't getting the rushing yards. Her per carry dropped from like 5.8 to like 2.4.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Jurgens. Hopefully we can run the ball. And I don't know if we're going to get into that part of the pod yet, but that's who I'm looking for most. Come back to me later on that.
For sure. Yeah, for me, the Eagle I'm most looking forward to is going to be Jalen Carter. Not last week because it was the bye week. 2 weeks ago against the Cowboys, he did log half a sack, but it seemed like it was kind of he got there, but it was kind of Graham's sack for the most part. But it was a half a sack. But it feels like he's been relatively quiet lately. I know he was injured during that Jets to the Cowboys game.
The hamstring.
All that area. Well, no, that's Davis. Carter was the back. But Carter, I'm looking forward to coming back. I think, after the bye week, he probably got a little bit healthier, a little bit, more energy. So I'm excited to watch him again. It's kind of a restart for him. Beginning of the season, I chose him, and he was amazing. So I'm hoping it goes again for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Breaking the Birds with Thomas Peterson.
Yeah.
But he did a little thing where it said, and this YouTube, of course, people, so if you want to look it up. It's really awesome. Peterson breaks down offense and defensive linemen. Anyway, he did a little thing on that Cowboys contained Jalen Carter. Not so fast, is what he said.
Yeah.
And if you watch the video, you see some of the plays that he made in that game. He was pretty awesome.
Good.
They had to double team him an awful lot, and there were several times that he would just smack away their Hall of Fame guard like he was just a rookie and just bust right by him. And he put a lot of pressure on Dak in that game. So, and he did, like you said, got half a sack.
Yes, he did.
I think he's up to 4 for the season. So.
Yeah, I don't have it here.
He's up 4 for the season. So anyway, we I don't. They made it sound like he was shut down or the season's getting too long in the tooth for him. He still, if you watch that video, it was amazing. He did really, really well, and he just was what he's been doing the whole season. He was just amazing.
Absolutely. What do you have for your matchup of the game?
Well, the matchup for this game, and if we're getting into that part of the pod, let me know. Okay, so I believe the key to this game is going to be Cam Jurgens and the run game. And I think we're going to need to come out of this game. And in my opinion, and I know this is not a good opinion, I think we should just run the ball the first 10 plays of the game. Just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. If we can't get it, run the ball again because we need to run on this team. We need to show them that we are the team that we were last year where we ran all over them in the first quarter and the first half of the Super Bowl. And we need to just show them that we're not going to stop trying. We still have our guys. We're going to be missing our tight end because that, Goddard's out. But, I believe we need to run the ball, commit to the run, and it's 3rd and 3 in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes left. Run the damn ball. Quit trying to throw a 40-yard bomb down the field. Run the ball, and then we'll just push it out. That's right.
Run the ball and get a first down. It doesn't.
Yes.
I know. I shouldn't say it's not hard because obviously it's hard, but sometimes I'm just like, why was that the running play? Like 2 weeks ago with Swift and AJ ran into him and he fumbled and we almost lost the game on that play alone. It's 3rd and 4, and I'm just like, there's no better play.
Yeah.
I know.
I know what they were doing. They were trying to do that little pass out to Brown like they did early in the game, and it worked.
But he handed him the ball.
Right, and he knocked him off his feet.
Well, no, but AJ hit him. It's not like It's not like Hurts didn't. He wasn't pulling the ball back. No, he gave him the ball.
Yes, he did.
It was a run. It was not a pass option. It was a run. That was terrible. I don't even think AJ was going out for a pass. He was going to block Micah Parsons, and he made his guy fumble.
It's funny because we watched that sequence a little bit earlier. And you saw after that play, it was only probably 10 seconds after the play, AJ walked off and he was just shaking his head.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was saying that was my bad, I was too slow making that cut, whatever, but they set it up to make it look like they were going to do that swing pass out in the flat. when you shouldn't be throwing the ball, 3rd and 3, that time of the game when they have no timeouts or they're down to 1 timeout.
Which makes no sense either, because I'm pretty sure Hurts handed it off to his right. He can't go to the left if he's handing it off that way. It
was inside the 2-minute warning. It was just, it was everything it was probably the most worst play you could pick at that particular motion.
It's obvious. It's absolutely the worst play of the season so far. Yeah. Thankfully, we recovered the ball, or else it would be a firing game.
Thank you, Tyler Steen, for getting that ball. But even that, it ruined the clock. It ruined just everything about it. And then if we had just gotten 2 yards, who knows? We might have done the push. We might have faked the push. We might have pulled them on the side.
Do the push twice.
Just something.
Just do the QB push twice on 3rd and 4.
Yeah, sometimes in that game, we had 2 or 3 yard rush on that
absolutely.
Play. Well, and I know his knee was hurt, so we can't go back to that. But I know.
Move past. My matchup of the game is my matchup of the game is the defense versus Kelce. It's the most important matchup of the season, really. Just guard Kelce. I don't know why it's so hard. And again, I shouldn't say that because obviously I couldn't do anything that these guys do. But is it really that hard? That's the guy.
Yeah,
cover him. Yeah. That's the guy. Well, I'm sorry. I just can't believe it.
The old time when we used to play the Cowboys and it was Emmett. Yeah. And I'd say, just cover him. Yeah. That one guy. When you got a pass rush where they can only throw the ball inside 2 or 2.5 seconds, cover that guy.
And I know there's other guys on the team.
Let them catch the ball. Yeah, they drop them. They're dropping balls like crazy on that team this year.
I know they've got some other guys. Christian Watson, he's not too bad.
But they're dropping the ball.
He doesn't drop the ball, so no. But
he's dropping the ball.
He's not too bad of a second tight end. He doesn't drop the ball. Tony drops the ball. Sly Moore, he can drop the ball every once in a while. But let them catch the ball, even if they just – can you cover the guy? Right. Can you cover the one guy? I can't stand it when a guy like that or a guy like CeeDee Lamb has 184 yards and 15 catches. Can you not cover the guy? So that's the guy.
You're allowed to hit him off the line, I think, right? Yeah. You have 5 yards. Okay, can we commit one guy? I don't know, a slow-footed linebacker, a big defensive end? Get right over that guy and hit him. Yeah. Push him inside so he can't go outside. Push him outside so he can't go inside.
Maybe that should be Nolan Smith's job earlier. I know you and I talked about
on the field.
Nolan Smith doesn't play enough. Maybe his job should be off the line. Yeah. He punches Kelce in the chest, and then he can go rush the quarterback.
Or he just makes him, go one way or the other. Okay, on this particular play, I am not letting him get outside me. I'm going to turn him in so that my linebacker can drop back or whoever's covering him can come in. But guide him, use him. Don't just leave him 10 yards off the field.
It never makes sense.
They do it all the time, Baz, and it just drives me nuts.
Understand.
I know.
It's players like him that make me go, this is rigged. Because there's no way that guy should ever be getting 185 yards.
He's wide open. What do you mean he's wide open?
Yes. It's different when he's contested and he makes amazing catches. That's A.J. Brown.
Right.
A.J. Brown doesn't get open. He beats guys and he boxes them out and catches the ball while he's getting grabbed.
Well, the other thing is when they have the quarterback drill, and you know what I'm talking about. They're inside the 20-yard line. The quarterback drops back. He's getting rushes, and then he starts running around. They start doing that whole drill thing. Then I can see him being open. Yeah. But when it's a 2 to 2.5 second throw, there should be somebody within 2 seconds of him or 2 feet of him.
Yeah.
Or a hand. Don't let him just be wide open. Even the down and out, like you say with CeeDee, he was going down across the middle, and there's nobody within 5 feet of him. And you're like, he only has, 5 yards. He's only got 2 seconds to throw the ball, but we continually leave him, hit him. Yeah. So there's, what's he say? Hit him. Hit him. Steve, harm him. Hit him off the line. And again, don't use your corners or your safety. Use a defensive end.
Yeah.
He can hit him and then bust in.
And then go through.
That's
and then, right. He doesn't have to cover him. But, the thing is, if he's going to be open to catch the ball, at least be there to hit him when he catches it. Right. You know what I mean? Don't let him catch it in 30-yard catch. Right. No. If he catches it for 8 yards, that's too bad. But make sure you're at least making him, you're making him go, whoa, I don't want to. Right. Well, just make him go, I don't want to catch that ball again.
Right.
Just do something. But, okay, that's my matchup of the game. Defense versus Kelce. We got to do something here. Yeah. Linebacker low, safety high. I don't care how you do it.
I agree.
Moving on to some Chiefs team stats. Pretty good on both sides. Overall rank for total yards on the offense, they are 6th Oh, I'm sorry, they're 8th. This thing's so small. I'm losing my vision already. Total yards, they're 8th. Passing yards, 5th. With 264.9 yards a game. Rushing yards, 103.8 yards a game, 19th. Points, they're 13th with 23.1. Third down percentage, they're really good. 4th in the league at 45.5. I believe on third down, we're first, or we're tied for first with
That's because of the push. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were tied for first on third down. Total yards for defense, they are 4th. They are really good defense. 307 yards a game. They're 4th in defense. Passing yards, 176. That makes them 5th. Rushing yards, this is what we talked about. You can run on this team. They allow 112 yards a game. That's 17th in the league. For points, they are tied for first. 15.9 points per game.
That's low.
That's incredible. They're tied for first. I don't know who they're tied with, but third down percentage on defense, also pretty good. They're 11th, right outside the top 10 at 36.5. Right. This is a team that matches up well against us. They're, them being 4th on third down, we have like one of the worst third down defenses. We're terrible on third down.
Yeah.
Them being 11th on third down defensively. Yeah, that's top. That's number 11. We're like number 1, but that's we want we want a team that's bad at that.
Yeah.
They match up really well against us. That's what makes this major.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. We got to run that ball today. We got to run that ball.
We do. We really do have to.
Hopefully, with the bye week and everything, Jalen. Even if Jalen's not 100%, just to give him that look that he can run early in the game would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Just a nice little pull the ball in, maybe run to the right, run to the left, and just give him that thought that, oh my gosh, he's running the ball. Look at him.
And then so we said they're 4th on defense. They're 4th on offense on first down percentage. Yeah, we're 25th on defense.
Yeah,
that's terrible. So this is a scary. It's
not surprising.
It's not a great matchup going into it, but sorry. Jumping on over, talk about some roster changes. Pretty obviously, one, Cam Jurgens is back from the IR. We elevated him today or activated him for off IR, so he'll obviously be back. Nakobe Dean went back to IR again. Leave him there. I'm tired of. I hate the whole. He gets injured. Okay, IR. He comes back. He gets injured again. IR. Don't make a guy go through 2 injuries a year. You know what I mean? Don't make him go through 3 at least. Don't bring him back. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he could come back." That's good. I don't want him getting hurt again.
Right.
What if he gets hurt again? I just don't. Let him sit down. For ones who are not playing in the game, obvious one, Goddard, they're not putting him on IR so far. Looks like he will be ready in a few weeks at least. I think they said he's looking like he'll miss 3 games.
Yeah, I never thought on Goddard. I believe even if he is still, he's got the forearm broken, right, or the broken arm.
Yeah.
He'll get a few weeks to cast it up and everything, and then they'll just use him kind of as a plant, just kind of as a decoy, where he's not really going to get hit. That kind of
even when they bring him back and he'll be playing, he won't be playing intensely. Yeah, but so that's our only one who's not. Or sorry, he was the only one that did not participate today. Justin Evans was a limited participant. He's also not going to be playing on Monday. Full participants and guys who will be playing: Grant Calcaterra back with concussion. From concussion, Cam Jurgens, of course, and then Bradley Roby from his shoulder. So that's really good to see. We do need these guys back. We need some. We need. What am I trying to say? Backup. We need backup on tight end and on nickel and quarterback.
That's Stoll, but Stoll's a blocker. He's a pulling blocker, and he's phenomenal at what he does. Yeah. But we need someone that can catch a ball or two. Maybe it's time for Albert O to catch one. Yeah. Maybe OZ gets involved a little bit more than he has been. But we're going to need somebody. Maybe Jones fills in as a tight end for a play or two just to give it a look. I don't know. Yeah. But that's what we're going to need. Definitely.
We need to see a lot of Alberto and Calcaterra and Stoll this week. I mean, these guys, they got at least getting 2-3 catches a game total as a group.
Just to make them look that way.
Yes.
You have to.
And then Julio will probably go up and, hopefully he goes up in 1 or 2 catches a game. But it's probably going to be Devontae and AJ the rest of the year. Right? We don't know, but it probably will be. But you have any other thoughts on the game before we move on to some other sports?
Not really. Again, it's a Monday night game. I'm kind of a little upset that both teams are coming off their bye at the same time. I think that was kind of a setup. They probably picked this game early in the season and said, okay, we're going to match this up to make it the second most watched game of the year because, the Cowboys-Eagles game was the most watched game so far this year. This probably will follow suit. Oh, yeah. But, it would be nice. Hopefully we don't get to have to watch too much of Taylor Swift up there in the box.
No, she's not going to be there. I saw something today already.
Thank the Lord, because that's just too much for my stomach.
Yeah, I get you. Moving on to some other sports. The Sixers won last night in a big game. They're up 2-1 in the in-season tournament now. Brings them up to 9-3 on the season.
So before I interrupt you real quick, give me a little update on that tournament. I don't understand how it works.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Okay.
You play 4 games you play 4 in-season games, all right? 4. There's 5 teams per grouping. They put you in groupings. So you have your normal division, but then you have your groupings. You play each team once, so that's 4 games, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, you play each team once, that's 4 games. The winner of their groups go on in the bracket in the tournament, and then whoever wins gets the in-season.
So the regular season is put on hold?
No, it counts as part of it. So the teams that continue to go on in the tournament, those games count towards their record.
Okay, so 82 regular season games. Okay.
And then the teams that did not go in the tournament and don't have those extra games, they make up those games later.
Steve will love this. They do that in soccer a lot. So they have tournaments throughout the regular season.
Yeah.
They usually don't count those games as regular season games, but still it kind of gives...
They do it all the way out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they lost to the Pacers and the Celtics. That gave them some of their losses. They were on an 8-game winning streak, so unfortunately that came to an end. Lost to the Pacers, which was an in-season game. We really... if you want to have a chance, you kind of have to go undefeated, or you can only lose 1 game, but you got to win one of your games with, because the team with the best point differential. So it's hard to explain. Winner of each group goes on, and then there's 2 wild card teams.
Okay.
The teams that only lost 1 game, and they have to have the best point differential. Those ones go on. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to win again, and then we need to have the better point differential,
right? Okay.
So that we can go as the wild card team, because we're probably not going to go as the division winners because we lost to the Pacers.
Okay. My last question on this. Home and away, or they play in one location?
It's back and forth. It's back and forth. Each team has 2 home. Each team has 2 away.
All right.
Because it's 4 games, so 2 home, 2 away for each team.
All right. That's all I need to know.
Yeah, it's weird they do this design on the court. I don't know if you've seen it. No. They do a different design for the in-season tournament games. It's pretty crazy.
Okay.
So the home team has a different court design. It's not just a basketball court with their logo. It's a whole color. The whole court is colored like the team.
Okay.
And it's got the trophy on it. It's kind of cool.
All right.
I don't know how
I'll give you that. NBA fans.
Yeah. The Union, they don't play till November 25th, so we're waiting a while for that one. We're going to be playing against FC Cincinnati, which is the best team in the MLS. So if you're going to bet on it, probably not going to be betting for the Union there, but hopefully they stick it out for that. The Flyers, they won earlier today against the Vegas Golden Knights, which is big. That's the kind of the best team, won the championship last year. Sorry, Stanley Cup. Whatever you want to call it. They won last year. That brings the Flyers to 9-7-1. Respectable. They're not great. They're not a top
hockey, though, man. You don't have to win. You win 4 or 5 more than you lose. You're in the playoffs every year.
I mean, the wild card right now. The leading teams are 12-1 and 2. So
that'll change. Trust me.
We are the second team outside the playoff picture right now. But the league, the season's so long.
Is that till June?
Yeah. Okay. Penn State, they won today against Rutgers. I don't know. You've won 8 games. Just rest your starters and get a bowl game.
I mean, it was a good game. I did watch it. I watched all the Penn State games.
I couldn't see
it. It was a good game, but Rutgers is, they were actually pretty decent. But, most of these teams, they can't throw the ball. They're just running the ball to the quarterback. And, I don't know who they got next week, but, just the fact that they lose to Michigan and Ohio State every year, I'm kind of done with that.
We were kind of talking about it. I don't want to take too much time going back to the Eagles game, but there's people that are calling the Eagles Chiefs, and they're saying the rivalry, and there's no rivalry. You can't. That's like saying Penn State and Ohio State have a rivalry.
Right.
No, they don't. Yeah. What are we in the last? What they said? Frank
16 against Ohio State and Michigan the last 2 seasons.
The last 10 seasons.
Sorry,
10 seasons. We're 4-16. Stop calling it a rivalry. It's like saying the Celtics and Sixers are a rivalry. Right. It's not a rivalry. Yeah. If your big brother beats you up every single time. It's not a rivalry. Other than that, I don't think I have any other sports to really touch on, at least that I care about. So I think we're all good there. But we'll go ahead and say our goodbyes. Do you have anything else to say? Or
No, I would just like to, again, reiterate, and if I'm right, let us know. Just send me a comment. I believe we're going to run the ball all over these guys. We're going to run it continually. We're going to run the ball until they get tired of us running. Then we'll start throwing the ball. That's what we have to do in this game, especially with the weather, the temperature, the rain, the wind. It's just not a good situation to be throwing that ball. So it's really going to be who can run the ball. I don't believe they can run the ball on us. I believe Carter and Davis and Fletch and our other interior linemen. Give me a few more names. Williams and the one I can never say right. Tui. Okay, thank you. Hopefully we can just shut them down with the run right off the bat. Put them in a second and third and 11 and 12, and hopefully we can take this game.
Yeah, well, other than that, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. If you like our Eagles Therapy podcast, do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you're listening. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can please like and subscribe. Comment below if you have anything to say to us, want us to say anything, have any suggestions or anything you hate.
I do want to say we had some great suggestions. Some good comments this week when you were solo. It was a really good gig. We got a lot of views. It was I was very happy to see that.
Hundreds of thousands.
Sorry I couldn't be here for it, but especially after we beat those boys in blue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can email us any questions or comments or anything at oureaglestherapy@gmail.com. But from all of us here at Our Eagles Therapy Podcast, my name is Basil.
And I'm Baz, also known as Weather Daddy.
Go Birds.
And fly, Eagles, fly.